Okay, hello and welcome. We are going to install Omni on my local computer because why not? We're just going to go ahead and install it on my desktop and have it available on my network for other systems to plug into and provision. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's share my screen, of course. Here is Omni. If you haven't seen it yet, it was just open source yesterday for usage, and it does. The license is allowing you to run it on home lab in a test environment, POC, those sorts of environments. It's not for production use. We still have Omni as a hosted service if you want to not go through this process. But if you're running it at home or want to check it out, here's how to do it. So we have some basic docs. We're going to be improving this. We know that there's hey, what's up, Boris? We know there's some things we can add here, but we're going to go ahead and walk through it. There is docs in Omni, which is what I'm mostly following. I'm going to do a couple things different just because I'm familiar with some different tools, but we'll also probably upgrade a couple or update a couple of these docs as we go. So we're going to install Omni on-prem. It's going to be available from a domain locally. One of the more difficult things to get set up is the fact that you need some single sign-on to authenticate to the endpoints and certificates to validate that endpoint. So we will show you how to walk through those things. But yeah, here's the general. I'm going to throw this in. I don't need the Auth0 endpoint. Let's just throw this in chat for everyone to see. What's up, Devin? There it goes. Okay. Okay. Has anyone already run Omni? Have you checked it out? I'd be curious to know what you tried. Where did my... Okay, so first thing we knew, I'm just gonna do certs first. Let's start with certificates. In the docs here, we do it with Snap with Ubuntu and certbots. I'm gonna do it with Acme SH because I'm a little more familiar with that, and I gotta find where I put that tab. Let's just go find it over here. Acme SH, this one. Here it is. So this is Acme SH. It's just a script for let's encrypt style certificates. It gets you not permanent, but like temporary ish certificates, but are valid and they're free. So we can set up some stuff here. I already installed Acme SH via the command, obviously. And again, where did I put that tab? Oh, there's a whole window over here. I found it. And we're going to, let's pull this tab down. We're going to use DNS validation, and I'm actually going to do manual DNS validation to just not have magic. You can have it. Obviously, if you want to renew this, you'll want to have it automatically with a cron or something, and that walks you here in these instructions. But again, they show you the cron tab, all sorts of stuff. I'm going to just issue the cert with DNS. So in theory, yes, you could cron job it here. And actually by default during the install, it asks, like it tries to edit cron for you. So it's not like it's not making you do everything manually. I know the chat is a little bit delayed from what I'm saying, so I try to wait a second before I answer questions. Okay, so I don't have Apache or Nginx, standalone server search. Where's the one with DNS? Here we go. Automatic DNS integration. Again, they have a whole section on here on what they support for DNS providers. I'm using Cloudflare. It is supported, but again, I'm just going to do the manual mode. So we can see here, we want to issue a certificate with Acme SH, issue command DNS. Again, because we're not saying do it automatically, it's just going to like print out some information for us to do. So, and I still have not fixed my copy and paste. Let's see. Actually, I'm not even going to bother. Actually, maybe I can do issue. Here we go. I'm just going to do this. And this is from their docs. You know, what I need to do. I have a jgar.net domain. Again, it's already in Cloudflare. I can pull up my jgar.net. I did have an issue with one of my other domains, and I don't know if it supports .dev. It was throwing some authentication error, and I don't know why. So, but anyway, Acme SH issue DNS. I'm going to get a wildcard. And oh, do I need to delete it? Oh no, using manual mode. Yeah. So it says we're using manual mode. Click here to figure out what you're going to do wrong. And literally it has this, yes, I know DNS manual mode enough. Please go ahead. I thought that was a great, like, I could just imagine the issues like come in through GitHub of like, I don't understand why it's not a cert. So we're going to go ahead and add that. Yes, I know. Oh no, I want issue. Here we go. So this is our actual command here. Is that big enough? I can go a little bigger. I'm mostly doing this from some history. There it goes. Oh, but then it wraps, whatever. So we're going to do that. And again, I already have this cert, so we're going to force it. It uses Acme 0 SSL to go get the certificate. 0 SSL is a standard cert provider. And here it tells me what I need to add as my text records. So let me pull up my DNS management. Where's Cloudflare? Okay. Cloudflare. And so I need those text records. And again, this is probably not big enough because streaming, it's never big enough. So we're just going to go and add text record. And I have two of them because one is for the top jgar.nets and the other one's for the wildcard. Yes, that's all the automatic mode does. This is just puts these text records in for you. And that's literally just how it validates. So if you make the key, Cloudflare has a like example. Hey, go ahead and create this key that allows it to create DNS text records. So we'll save one. We'll add another one. It's the same here. The challenge is different though. So it's just going to check, are both these available? Save. So I have the DNS records. Again, I'm doing it manual just to show how it works. And now we're going to renew. And again, you need that long flag, and you have to put a force in there as well because it has a valid request that it knows about. So now it's verifying, and then we'll see it go through all of the steps to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and get you a cert. Please just wait. While that's going, it should be done pretty quick here. We're done with Cloudflare. Let's go back to, nope, not that one, this one. And again, because I don't have the cron set up, we would have to like manually renew this if we wanted to. And that's obviously why they're like, hey, you should do this automatically. It's also interesting when you add the cron, it gets, if you have a key, like a API key, it puts that in the environment for the cron. So you don't need it, but also like that's not protected anymore unless you have cron somehow fetching that information securely. So FYI, now we need to install. We have these install commands. This is Nginx. Here's Apache. We just need the raw certs. We want the raw certs to get out, and they do explicitly say here, like, the certs exist in the directory. We have an Apache or a acme.sh directory. They're like, don't use it. Like it's going to change. If you try to script this, you're going to break and it's on you. Okay. So we have these certs and keys, but we don't want to copy them automatically, even though that's, whatever. So let's do, I'm going off some history here just because my copy and paste is still broken. So we have acme.sh install our cert. Here's the domain we're using. We don't need to get the wildcard because that's one cert that is applied there. We're going to dump this into a cert file. I'm actually in the directory. I believe. Yeah, I'm in temp Omni. So I'm gonna take that off of here. So we just put them right in our current directory. And there we go. We have these certs. And if I look at them, I can do cert info. And let's look at the chain, because the chain is the one that has the clients, the intermediate, and the root. And that's the one that we typically want. So I see down here, I have my intermediates, and my end entity, which is my domain. That's the one that I want. So I can see I have the entire cert. I'm ready for the next step of the install instructions. All of this stuff should be done. Let's jump over to Auth0. Auth0 has a free tier. We can get this going for free. Let's find that tab and jump into it. Here we go. I signed in. I literally just created this account like a half hour ago, like brand new account. I signed in with my Google account. And so when I signed in with my Google accounts, my authentication social already had Google available as a thing that I could use. So you want Google and you want GitHub. So if we could delete GitHub and show you the walkthrough here. But I didn't have to change anything on the Google OAuth. So let's create a connection. There's GitHub. Continue. We're leaving all of this stuff blank, and we're just selecting email address. That's the only information we need to pass into our application if we authenticate with GitHub. I'm not actually going to use GitHub, but this is how to do it. Create that. This gives us that connection, and then we're going to go into applications. I'm going to delete mine real quick. How do I delete it? Settings probably. All the way down. Yep. Danger zone. Delete. So now let's create it again. Omni.jgar.net. Single page, single web page application. Great. And then we're going to our settings here. It automatically, when you name it that, it automatically gets this name. We'll want this domain and client ID for later. In here, we want the callback as HTTPS Omni. Let's see. Is my copy and paste work, please? Allowed origins, paste. So we want our callback URLs, our logout URLs, and our allowed web origins all to be the same domain wherever we're going to publish this endpoint. And I don't even need to publish this publicly. This is available on my local network. I could like broadcast this with DNS somehow. I'm literally just going to edit my host file for now. And so I can log into it to see it here locally. If I actually want to use this, I need some other way to get an endpoint on my LAN and send that out over DNS. So we're not going to go through that side of it. If you don't have DNS management for like a system to boot, I would need to boot to an endpoint if I wanted to Pixie or something like that and connect. And so we need that stuff on the network. But right now, we're just doing it locally. We're going to save these changes. We're going to go back to authentication, social. Oh, I don't know why I just saved. Okay. We're going to enable it for GitHub here. Applications, Omni. Just so we do that. I also needed to, I think I already, this isn't going to exist here. I deleted it. But if you go in authentication database, username and password authentication, and then applications, you do want to, oh, good. You want to disable it for your application. So people can't use username and password there. I think that was all the steps for Auth0. Social, GitHub, and then, yeah, domain client ID. Here we can create these GPG keys. These are literally just copy paste. I'm not gonna run these again. It's fine. You can just copy each one, use the same thing, list your keys, whatever your fingerprint is that comes out of here, you'll paste it in here. And that's the only difference that you need to do. Same thing with this UUID. We just want that for an account as part of the Omni running. It wants to know, like, if you run multiple of these, every instance has its own UUID for a client, basically. And now we can deploy. And this big old command here, we're going to replace some things. So if I go back to wherever my terminal went, there we go. Let's walk through it again. Docker run, net host. We have this etcd out directory, which we're going to do in our local. We'll have a folder. I'm mounting in my chain and my key and the GPG encryption key. So those are the three things that I'm mounting from my local folder. We get our account ID, and then here's where I actually use those keys and GPG encryption keys. And then down here, we're going to set our advertise URL for sidereal link. The WireGuard endpoint actually has to be your host's IP address, because WireGuard doesn't know HTTPS. It's IP. It's just an actual IP layer 3 link. So you'll need to do your IP address there. And because we're doing net host, we don't need to bother with which port it's on. We just get every port that we want. my UDP video. Exactly. This is why we do it. And we're saying here Auth0 is true. I need to change this one. I need to change my endpoint here. Oh, did I close that? No. Good. Applications. Here's my domain. Why does it not work? Does that work now? XRK, is that correct? XRK, cool. And then client ID. Please copy. VVC looks right. And then an initial user, and that is my email address, because that's the admin for the account. So when I try to log in, I'm going to have to use something that authenticates with that email address, whether that's my GitHub that has that email or my my Google account. So Omni uses WireGuard to talk back to your local instance. Yes, when an instance boots, it makes a connection back to Omni over WireGuard. And so as the system is booting, it will automatically get those endpoints, and we'll show it once we connect into it. So all of the instances, as you're provisioning them, will connect back over WireGuard, not like a standard HTTP endpoint. So it's a little more durable. It's UDP based. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything. I'm also going to add just a remove. So in case this doesn't work, I don't have to worry about cleaning it up. But it'll run in the foreground. I'm not restarting it. It's not a daemon or anything like that. We're just going to run it. And let's see it go. It takes not long to boot. Omni's the mothership. I guess you could call it that. And then, last thing I want to do here is I'll show you. I want to sudo vim etc host because I need to be able to authenticate to those endpoints. The ones that I said, Omni jgar.net. I actually don't need the jgar.net, but yeah, let's put it anyway. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just a dev domain. So Omni jgar.net, if I put that in my browser, has the certificate for that domain. So they're going to match my local host IP address will then match that host name. So I can go to omni.jgar.net. Oh, I'm already logged into it. Wait, let's show the flow. Where's give me a my control key's not working. Is that why copy and paste doesn't work? Where's incognito? Why do I not have an incognito? Where'd you go? Oh, they're all over there. They're all popping up in the background. Okay, I don't need 5 of them. Let's just get one. So I went to omni.jgar.net, which is localhost. If I go back into the terminal, I'll see the caller that comes in and it redirects me somewhere. It's in there if you watch it. I'm going to continue with Google, which is going to suck now because I'm not logged into Google. That's a pain. It works. Just believe me. Because then it's two-factor and then it's annoying. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But it does redirect me so that I get to the dashboard here. And so here is where you can see my HTTPS endpoints for the API, my WireGuard endpoint, which is the IP address. So clients on my local, actually, I guess they don't need DNS, do they? I haven't actually provisioned one. We can try. What's the easiest way? Let's try. Download installation media. Let's get the ISO AMD 64. Sure. No kernel arguments, download. We don't have extensions because we're not running the factory, which is the part that gives us this other information. When we get the ISO, it generates these endpoints for us. So my machine behind me should connect back to this IP address over WireGuard because it's on my LAN and that IP address is available to it. So let's open that folder. Let me get my Ventoy USB drive, pop it in. And this actually says metal on-prem, so that looks right. Copy, paste. Now I need to remember what my tiny pilot. Does that work? Oh, yes. Proceed. Haha. I can't believe that just works. Okay, so I got a tiny pilot so you can see the screen better. Can't wait to do it this weekend. Hopefully you don't have any problems because yeah, it should just work. Let's go ahead and try to boot this machine. Ejected that. I'm gonna go plug it in behind me. Because this already has Talos installed, it will try to local boots, and so I do need to interrupt it and reset it. Where'd the screen go? Did I touch it? No signal. Yeah, okay. There we go. I don't think I have an F12 on this keyboard. Oh, geez. Don't make me do that. Let's see if USB's first. Yes. Okay. What do we say this one was called? This is on-prem is what we called this one. So it automatically generated that from, I don't remember. Oh, from the name of my Docker container. But we're going to boot in normal mode, and this is going to prompt me in Grub to reset the Talos installation, and that's going to just wipe out the drive because otherwise it'll try to reboot into the Talos installation. So it should reboot one more time, and hopefully this just works. Did I leave it up? Oh, it's in a tab. Oh, it didn't even have to reboot. Cool. One of the best things about Talos is that the reboot into the installed OS. There we go. Man, I'm impressed with Tiny Pilot. Oh, I saw some people saying that the video settings are better if you go to the other one too. I should probably do that. Less lag on it. So when this boots, it's going to go into a maintenance mode, and I should see it configure and join here in my machines, assuming I did everything right. But again, I haven't actually done this part yet. So I've done it with Omni as a hosted server. Where'd my video go? You're still, did it reboot again finally? I don't know. Where's this? System video settings. System. Let's change these things on the fly, because why not? There you go. H264. Oh, that bet that's gonna reboot. Oh well, there it goes. Talos is rebooting. 2, 1, 0. Because I should get back to the Ventoy. Yeah, Tiny Pilot is a little pricey. So is the KVM, the Pi KVM. Was a little pricey. Like they're both, it's a KVM, and KVMs are often more expensive than I want them to be. But also I have been thinking about and eyeing one for live streams like this, because I tried it. I thought I could do it with my iPad, because iPads have HDMI input, and I literally tried it with this whole setup with live streaming on one of my first streams, and it was just too flaky, and I couldn't control it, and it was like a view only sort of thing. And I'm like, I think I just need to do it if I want to show off how hardware works. Yeah, I'm not running a machine with IPMI, so that is true. But even then, I think this one has Intel VT, whatever it's called, which, you know, it has some of the things I would want, but the VNC interface for it is terrible, and the controls are very undocumented. Every time I tried to make it work well, it was just like, oh, I'm spending a lot more time debugging this than anything else. Here we go. We should get in maintenance mode here in a second, and we should see it pop in over here on my local endpoint. With Test Smart KVM? What is, oh, so you have like a local KVM and then a Pi KVM plugged into that. And so that's your video and keyboard and mouse. That's interesting. Okay. Dang it. I'm going to buy more things, aren't I? Test Smart? So yeah, it's just a switch. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we're in maintenance mode because we reset. Do we have a machine here? No. Error. Publishing event. I don't know how to. I don't think I can zoom this, can I? Let's see. Waiting for machine D. Controller. Events disk. Connection error. Error while dialing. Looking up Omni. Oh, okay. So it's definitely trying to hit the DNS. So I'm going to have to broadcast this DNS to the client for it to come back here, because it's not going over the IP address. Okay, I don't have a way to do that right now. And that was like my last missing piece was I'm going to have to tell all the nodes that I don't have access to the Etsy host file where to come. And I don't think I can set that as a kernel parameter. Let's look. Kernel IP, that's IP configuration. Tell us host name, board, platform, auth. I don't think there's a way for me to like statically define a host, which would be kind of cool. It's just basically like, is there a way to do this? That's setting my host name. No, I don't think so. I have proxy information. Yeah. So I don't think I can do that. I am going to have to broadcast that for it to be able to connect back to the endpoint, because I thought it would go IP address, but I will research that for for next week. But I do have the endpoint, and as soon as I figure out the actual getting nodes to connect back to it, we can do that. So that's it. This is a pretty quick 30 minutes to go through the steps and at least get the initial host running and being able to download media. I even booted a system from it as soon as I got DNS working. So yeah. So if you have any questions or you want to try it out, again, it's on GitHub. GitHub Omni. So if you find issues or things you want added, feel free to comment there. If you're in the Talos Slack, just go ahead and jump in support or community and ping us there. And thanks everyone for joining. And if you are running it, leave a comment. That'd be great to see who else is trying it out. So we'll see you all next time.